Okay, everybody, Sociible has released, and I am going to show you guys exactly how I plan on using it. And this is Kim from Lead Generation Source. And so I've been playing with it a little bit, and I just want to make sure that I can do this fully. And there are a couple things that I'm not sure that this, sorry about that, that this will work with. This is the image that I created to show you guys kind of like the way it works. So Sociable is very good. Let me go ahead and show you the dashboard. It's very easy to use. There's tutorials in here, so you can come in, you can get walkthroughs of every single thing that you need to do. You can add your social accounts here, which I've already added a ton. You can create content streams, which is very nice for those of you who are not nitpicky about what you want to put on your page, or for those of you who are just trying to build a page and get some traffic, right? Which is a great strategy, an excellent strategy for not necessarily building a brand, but maybe building information where you're trying to, this is really good for e-commerce, right? So basically, you need to watch a sales page to get the whole gist of how it works. But what happens is that you're sharing content, which we've talked about a lot. You share content from Facebook to your page, and then you can build up your Facebook likes. And then when you post content, because the whole idea is you have to monetize it, and that's what happens in business. So you can't really monetize. The way we work right now is that when we post something, so here, let me pull this page over. So when we post something, this is actually one I posted, but let's say I shared this. Let's say I shared this from somewhere. Now, when they click on this, they're going to go, there's no way I'm monetizing this unless I encourage them to comment and then I can reply to them, which is what we've been doing traditionally, and it's only going to get a percentage of them. But there's going to be a larger percentage that are going to click on this because they're interested in this particular article. So now this one's going to tasty.co. So once they click, I may never see them again. I may never get another chance in front of them, but now with Sociable, I can get another chance in front of them, and this is how. So when I post, so let's just say that this was related to my topic, which of course this is a test page that I use. Let's say that this was an article that I wanted to share, and this is good for lead generation, but it's going to show you e-commerce. So you can do it for either one. This article is good for, I don't know why that image is there actually. That should not be that image. I'll have to double check that on why that's going there. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it is the right image, who knows. So I don't think it is though. But anyway, so let's say that they see this and they're like, oh, I want to learn about this, so I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Okay, when they click on this, I've created an overlay here. So these are my Celtic ornaments. So this is, like I said, for e-commerce. You can have an opt-in page. You can do just about anything you want. It doesn't take a long time to set up, and if you want a different opt-in on every single page, it would take you a little bit more time. But let's say that I have, I have my guide, my free offer guide. So let's go back over to Sociable real quick. And I think I've already created the overlay, but let's just check it real quick. No, I have not created the overlay. Oh, yes, I have. Okay, so I created this overlay here, which is not 100% what I want to do, but it's good. So now I'm going to go back to, and I've already set up all the campaigns and everything and found an article that I wanted and everything else. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new campaign. So I'm going to say add campaign. I'm going to call it, I'm just going to call it Lead Gen 1. And I'm not going to do an account. I'm going to do I'm going to send it to, I'm going to send it to, yeah, I'm going to send it to Lead Generation Source. So this is going to be the page, not a group, remember? These are only for pages. You can't do this kind of thing with groups. So the posting mode is going to be bucket posting, and I'm going to select one of my buckets that I've created. And again, all of this you walk through, but I'm going to do the lead gen one, which has several pieces of content in it. Okay, so I'm going to say I'm going to do per day, I'm going to post 2 times, and I'm going to post, I can do specific times. So I'm going to post now, and then, well, actually, let's see, what time is it? 2:39. So why don't we say 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. and then I'm going to do another one from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Now, if you don't do that, it should, I say should, automatically post. But there's a little bit of a, each one kind of overrides the other. So I've noticed that if I've created one and I put one per day, then it doesn't do it if I've already done another one, right? So I do a second one that says one per day and it won't post immediately. I don't know if it eventually posts or not. I haven't played with it long enough to do that. So now when I'm here, I'm going to say enable overlays. So now so just so you know, bucket posting, you can do bucket posting or you can do stream posting, right? So stream posting is when you just select keywords and you're just posting content out there, which is actually really great because I could do that on my baker site and tell it I want to post twice a day between these times, and I could just be completely hands off then, right? Especially if we automate the comments and we use all of our automation that we've talked about so far. So I spend, maybe 15, 20 minutes a day going in and letting the automation run. I'm not even doing it. I'm just turning it on. So from here we go, okay, so I've got my posting time set up. And of course, this may not post immediately, but you already saw an example of it. I just want to show you how easy this is. So I've created my overlay, which of course this says default, but if you enable your own URL, then so you can, let me show you what that is. So right here it says that this is going to sociable.com. Well, if I can buy a domain name, so I could buy a domain name that says kimsawesomereviews.com. Now that's not going to be a website, so you don't need hosting, right? Because what you're going to do is you're going to forward it to Sociible, and Sociible is going to then use your domain name instead. It will still go to their servers, but and do exactly what you need it to do, right? It's still going to be able to do this, but instead of saying Sociible, it'll say the domain name that you picked. So I do have that. I just have not enabled it and I haven't played with that yet. But if that's something that's important to you, that you want it to be kind of branded to your content, then you should definitely get that upgrade. All right. So now let's see. So it's at default, which is going to go to Sociible because I haven't set up the other part of it yet. So the post with overlays. Let's say that you wanted to only do 50% of the post with overlays. I personally do not. I want to do 100%. I mean, that's the whole point of this. So I could find out that it's overwhelming, but I don't think so. If you're putting in enough different content, I mean, eventually somebody could catch on, but you could vary, if you vary your posts where you have one post from this particular one going to the page and it's from anything related to do with the iPhone, and then the other one's Android, and you do a second one for Android and you have different overlays for that, I think you'd be fine. You could do that like with a ton of different things, right? So then you can choose the overlay. So I'm going to choose the free e-commerce guide that we have, and I'm going to say, and then of course there's a content AI, but I don't have enough information in here, enough resources to do that, so I'm not going to enable it for this one. And that was an upsell that I didn't know was going to exist, and the enable content AI, it will take a couple days to test that fully, but it might be something worth, it might be worth the upgrade if you are like, hey, I want just the best content to be shared. So I don't know how well it works. I haven't been able to test that, but I did get that. I just don't want to enable it because there's only like 2 things in here. So I'm going to go ahead and say create. And now that's there. Now, of course, it's only 2:43, so it could post anytime between now and, I say that, but I wonder if it knows my time zone. So I'll have to check and see. But the idea would be, oh, sorry, that's not what I meant to do. Let me go back over to, let me go into that real quick. That once it does post, as you can see that it has not yet. Yeah, has not yet. Has not posted yet. So when it does, it would be on my page and it would do something very similar to where I click on the link and it would go to the article that it posts, whichever one from that bucket it posts. And then it would have the pop-up that I've selected. So theoretically, I could even share this exact same post to 5 different pages with 5 different pop-ups. And this works, like I said, for both lead generation and for e-commerce. Because think about this. If I got this, now you guys know that I've done research on Facebook, and getting in front of Celtic groups is very difficult, and finding content that's related to that is even harder. So it does get a little bit difficult, but when you can, like, for example, if you have some sort of dog site, that one would be super easy to find articles about and that are floating around on Facebook. Because the key is you need an article, right? You can't just share a video because they're not going off of Facebook then. They're not clicking through. I mean, you may still have a percentage that clicks through, but probably not. But it's still, if there's no link, it's not going to be able to host anything and then do an overlay. So you need to be sharing the linked content, and you do want to share more popular linked content. So of course I do recommend getting something like OctoSuite, but before I say that, if you don't have OctoSuite, hold off on it. Let me do some testing, because the first test I did, I was using a really popular site that somehow did not use images on their site, and I found that out the hard way. So I don't know if there's a fix to that or how that's going to work. So I'm working on testing it to see if there's a workaround so we can share the most viral content and schedule the most viral content into buckets that would share then, it would just share randomly through there. And that would be better than sharing just random content. But you could still do both. You could still share regular content with the videos and stuff, which I do encourage, and still use our viral post strategy on all posts, not just the ones you share that are viral. But then you can also, whenever there is a post, whenever you can also schedule to share the post in like this. And that's how you can get, so let's say you're in a group, for example, and let me go back to this. Okay, so we are going to find great content to share or just any content to share, right? Because we're going to have a certain percentage of people that may click on it. We're going to load that into, or find it in Sociable, and then we're going to include the overlays that we have for monetization. Of course, if you're lead generation, if you're like looking to generate leads instead of sales, then you probably need to go with whatever your front end free offer is to capture leads. Then of course you would schedule it to share onto Facebook, and then you would still have inboxer to reply to comments, and then you can of course monetize that as well. And then we recommend using Google extension, the Google extension we recommend to reply to public comments and invite engagement on the post to like your page, right? This helps your post go viral. So additional marketing strategies. Once you've done that and you've shared it to your page, right? It's on your page. Now you have a couple of things. One is that you've got Facebook. You can now share that. So you can go back in and go, oh, hey, this one's doing pretty well. Let me share it into groups, right? Because you don't really care at this point if you're gonna be sharing good content into groups. So that is a value. So whether it's the spammy groups that I like to use or the groups that are, not spammy, like I'm in a bunch of Beagle groups. So if I find a good Beagle article, I should put that on my page, on my Beagle page, and then I should share it from my Beagle page into the Beagle groups and say, hey, just FYI, I wanted to share this with you guys, see what you're doing. I would say use OctoSuite to do that, of course, because that will save you from having to share it, especially if you're sharing into a lot of groups. So OctoSuite would help with that. So you can share that into groups and get even more momentum on people seeing that. So remember, the whole idea now is that people get to see your product for free. You're putting a mini ad in front of them for free. Now Pinterest, I would create a unique pin that goes either back to your Facebook post or to the Sociible link. When you click on it, which you guys saw me do here, hold on, I gotta find it again. I got a lot of pages up, so let's see if I can find it real quick. This one. So you can see that this is a unique link, right? So you can just use that link and create a pin straight to this page, right? So I would pin something from here, not your content, but I would pin something from this content and then put it in, you can put it into Pinterest. So if you guys are doing Pinterest marketing, you can add that straight into and add this to it, right? YouTube, do a quick slideshow video, right? Do a quick slideshow video that's pointing back either to the Facebook post or to the link in Sociible. Of course, you can go straight to that link, which I would recommend. And of course, I do have that special tip for those of you who have the software to use the live feed strategy, which of course the live feed strategy is when you use a live feed but play a pre-recorded video. So that's what makes it, this is a great way to now extend and expand your reach of non-paid. Of course, this is the automated part of Sociible here. These are other tools that we've recommended, and these are other strategies with other tools that we've recommended. So you could easily get in front of a lot of people doing all of this. But even if you just do this, you can build your page and you can get some momentum for either your e-commerce products or for your lead generation, whichever one you're doing. So this is already long enough. You guys should check out the sales page. It's a really cool product. I've been excited about it. You guys have heard me talking about it for like almost 2 weeks now, probably 2 weeks now. So this is 100% one that I would hands down recommend. Now, I'm not going to say it's not glitchy. There are a few things that I'm like, wait, why did it do that? But that's what happens with software, right? Until you can go back to the developer and say, hey, this is what's happening. What's the workaround, or how do I fix this? And so like for me, the first thing I tried to do was sharing content from a external link, and it wasn't pulling an image. And I was like, that's not good because it needs an image. And how can I edit the image? What do I need to do? And so that would be one of my first questions to him. But they will have a webinar after. He's got a live webinar scheduled after the close of the launch of this product. So this is a really cool tool, and I would, of course, highly recommend it. If to go through the levels with you, you can look on the page on the lead generation source page, and which I don't actually have published at the moment, so I will have to show it to you later. But there are, I'll pull that back up for you. There are multiple upsells, right? So you've got your first one is the Lite and then the Pro. And of course, I don't see a point to the Lite. For $10 more, you can get the Pro and at least have 10 accounts. I'm doing the unlimited because I have a lot of pages and I would love to build this on a lot of pages. I mean, you could build 50, 100, 500 pages, though I wouldn't do it 500 all that fast, or even 100. I'd probably just start with like building 10, let it build 10 more, let them start building. Because remember, you can automate this whole process, right? So if you're just building pages to build pages and get traffic, that's a great way. Now, I'm not going to lie, if you want to increase the traffic significantly, you need to do other strategies. So you should focus on the pages that are most important to you. But there's nothing saying you can't set up another one just to see how well it works and keep an eye on it and invite people and do all those other little things. But of course, the more pages you have, the more you spread out your time. So I do recommend focusing your efforts. But for me, I already have like 12 or 14 pages that I need to work on and haven't been working on, because I just haven't had the time to split between all of them. And a lot of them I really just want to build. I don't want to do anything else, but why not monetize it at the same time, right? So you can monetize purely with Sociible. You don't need anything else. You can just use Sociible, use the overlays. You can do Amazon affiliate overlays. You can do, any type of opt-in. They've got opt-in overlays. It's got like content overlays if you want to drive your content in front of people. I mean, there's a lot of different things that you can do. So anything you're trying to get in front of them would work, right? I mean, you could do that. Now, there's no guarantees people are going to buy anything or anything else. That's all part of the testing strategy you have to do. But it really is a great way to this is a great marketing way on Facebook to do that, because there's still a lot of activity on Facebook. So while I do not like Facebook for ads, there's still a lot of activity on it. So it would be good to be able to get some of that momentum and test your products and get them in front of people, or get some leads from them from doing this too, right? So anyway, so we'll talk more strategy on the webinar on Wednesday, and I'll go over this as well, just so you guys can see it a little bit more. But in the meantime, check out the sales page, because I think the price is going to keep going up over the launch period. So check it out. It won't go up very high. I mean, not much higher than it is now, but you could save a couple bucks if you get it now versus later. So anyway, let me know if you guys have questions. Hop into the group, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. And if you have any questions after Wednesday, just, hit up the group. Thanks.